I use the rope runner as my primary device. There's nothing else I want to climb on for the day-to-day.
I remember signing up to get one of the original Dirty 30 rope runners from Kevin and going to the rope runner workshop in Detroit and being there when the product was materializing from nothing, when Kevin was still water jetting the pieces.
So I like the Rope Runner 1 because it was consistent amount of minimal friction, minimal drag.
The Rope Runner works so well because, I don't know, it's just, I feel like it's magic.
The reason that the Rope Runner design works so well and has become the industry's leading SRT device, or the benchmark for what SRT performance should be like, is because it has 3 different points of friction.
A whole range of motion between wide open and stopped, and you have really precise adjustments.
When you go to 10 slack or you collapse the rope runner, there's no pressure stopping it from going up. The rope is completely straight, and then it expands, grabs the rope, and like I said, when you push down here, you're laying off this at one rate, and you're laying off this compression point at a second rate. That's why the rope runner works better than any other SRT device on the market.
So the Notch Rope Runner Pro is an improved rope runner for several reasons. The biggest complaints I had with the original rope runner, and climbers, when I would talk to them, always would say, I love the rope runner, but you know, it's really sharp in my hands, and it's not really midline attachable because I don't want to drop slick pins in 3 pieces.
I refer to the rope runner as being semi-midline attachable. It is definitely midline attachable, but it's not something I would want to do in a tree.
I mean, the old Rope Runner, in my opinion, is really, really, really difficult to beat, and we've been trying for ever since the first Rope Runner came out. We've been trying to figure out how to get it better, and it's been a really hard thing to do. So
It's been a really neat opportunity to be involved with the design and production and development of the Rope Runner Pro and the Rope Runner series. I appreciate Nick Bonner and Mike Zechek working with me and taking my considerations into account, and really taking the time to let me and the other climbers involved with the project try it out and test it out. And it was a good opportunity to talk with Kevin Bingham and get to know him a little bit better as well. And really, it's a really nice reminder of how close this community is.
Working on the Notch Rope Runner Pro has really been awesome. Working with Kevin, going to Detroit with Neil, the engineer, and being there at Kevin's house with his kids running around, and working on a product like this, and arguing and going through the give-take about the different features and what's important, and where we should be sacrificing weight and where we should be adding weight and things like that, is really a great project to be a part of, and it's a great process. I think everyone really added to it.
So being involved in the development in the Rope Runner Pro, being asked my opinions along the way has meant the world to me. Like, Kevin Bingham is definitely probably has the most experience, but I would say I'm probably the most passionate rope runner climber. That the Notch development team asked me, my opinion on this. It's incredible, like they're really looking out into the field and asking, real world arborists what they think.
The development process for this was long. This is the 4th or 5th iteration that we brought to a physical part that we could climb on and try. There was a lot of give and take between Kevin, through the engineering team led by Neil, myself, and other people involved with the project, where to give up weight, where to add weight, what level of retention is necessary, what shape should this be, how big should this hole be. All of those things were discussed and planned, and when you hold this in your hands, I think you can tell that it's very thoughtfully designed, and it really shows in the build quality.
The Rope Runner Pro has a much smoother feel to it in your hand. The top of the bird is all rounded. The whole thing is milled so nicely and so smoothly, so there's no real sharp edges. The bollards are actually concave, so they almost have like a broken in feel already, just right out the box. You can't drop any of the pieces.
I think the Rope Runner Pro is better than the Classic in pretty much every way. But if I had to pick just one, I would say that the ability for it to stay in one piece and stay connected to your harness while you're putting it on the rope is the biggest improvement. I thought that was one of the biggest challenges for the classic rope runner, and it's solved perfectly in this device.
This is it coming off. This one does not fall apart in 3 pieces. You can keep it on your harness as you climb or as you move it around the tree, so you don't have to worry about dropping it. That was one of the huge disadvantages of the Rope Runner 1.
I really do enjoy the smooth top of the bird. It doesn't have the hard edges, which you would get used to after a while, but even so, it's nice having that more tactile friendly.
We looked at a lot of different ways of doing this that all added material on the outside, and Kevin came up with the idea that he actually switched 2 of the parts around and brought it to the inside, and this is by far the best approach yet, and it's the most user-friendly with a nice round edge here for you to bend your hand over.
The top slick pin, being able to rotate that out makes it easy whenever you're inserting a line. The flared bollards reduce the break-in period with this to almost none, minimal if any.
The Rope Runner Pro has 2 concave stainless steel bollards, and they're both replaceable. Up here at the top in the bird, it's going to actually be coupled with these adjustment markings.
And then as we continue to work our way down, there's this little block here that limits the movement of this arm, but also stops anyone from accidentally putting their line in here. So
The integrated tending point on the backside is absolutely fantastic. It's right where it should be. You know, I've been running a little piece of throw line on the back of my rope runner, and I go in and out nice and easy, but that integrated tending point is absolutely fantastic.
One thing that we know about the design is that it works better if you pull it up from the slick pin. To do that on the Rope Runner Classic, there are little pieces that pull it up, but only from one side, or really large and bulky solutions that attempt to get a central pull. But on the Rope Runner Pro, this really nice smooth edge attachment point is pulling directly up on the slick pin. It's sized to only accept accessory carabiners, and it won't accept any life support carabiners, so you prevent issues where people might mistake that or accidentally clip in there. It's just not possible.
So the difference between the bearing pulley that the Rope Runner Pro now comes with and the original sheave style with just the pin through the middle of the original Rope Runner is a much smoother feel. I replaced the pulley on all of my Rope Runners, you know, to the bearing pulley, and it's just so much smoother. This coming stock with it it's awesome. Like there's nothing to change out. Like it's going to be the best tool in your kit right out the gate, right out of the box.
I think we've really nailed it.